It was a moment like no other in a packed courtroom. The air was thick with tension, and the murmurs of the crowd barely broke the silence. A man, wrongly accused, was moments away from being sentenced for a crime he did not commit. The weight of the injustice hung heavy, and yet, as the judge prepared to make his decision, a young girl's voice shattered the silence. She stood, her small body trembling with courage, her words loud and clear. "This man is innocent, and I will prove it." The room froze. People turned, eyes wide with disbelief. What could a child possibly do in this serious courtroom to change the outcome of this trial? But what happened next was nothing short of a miracle, one that reminded everyone in that room that kindness, when driven by the truth, can be a powerful force for justice. Before we dive into this heartwarming story, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Action for more inspiring tales of compassion and hope. Now, let's get back to the story. It all began a few months earlier. The man in the courtroom, Mr. Davis, was a kind-hearted janitor at the local school. He was a quiet man who kept to himself, but his presence was always felt. He'd be the first to lend a hand to a troubled student, or offer a kind word to anyone in need. Yet, one fateful day, he was accused of a crime he didn't commit, a crime that could change his life forever. The accusation came when a laptop went missing from the principal's office, and unfortunately, the only person who was near the office at the time was Mr. Davis. Without any evidence to prove his innocence, he was arrested. As the investigation went on, there was no sign of the missing laptop, and no one could find anything linking Mr. Davis to the crime. But the accusation alone was enough to cast a shadow over his reputation. In the meantime, Mr. Davis's young daughter, Emma, who was only 10, knew something didn't add up. Her father had always been good to everyone, always helping others without a second thought. The idea of him doing something wrong felt impossible. Emma spent sleepless nights thinking about the situation, feeling helpless as her father's trial date drew closer. It was on the day of the trial when the unthinkable happened. Emma, who had always been a shy and reserved girl, found herself standing in front of the judge. Her heart raced, her palms were sweaty, but she knew she had to do something. The people in the room were all too quick to believe the worst about her father, and no one was willing to see the truth. The judge, the lawyers, the jury, all of them were ready to make a decision based on assumptions and rumors, but Emma wasn't about to let that happen. As the judge prepared to pass judgment, Emma stood up and declared, "This man is innocent, and I will prove it." The courtroom went silent, everyone in shock. How could this little girl have the power to change anything? Was she really going to make a difference? The judge, clearly taken aback, asked her to explain. With tears welling up in her eyes, Emma spoke from the heart. She told the courtroom how her father had always been there for her and for others, how he spent hours helping the kids at school with their struggles. She spoke of the many times she saw him give away his lunch to someone who had none, of how he would leave early in the mornings to clean up after late events, and how he always had a smile for everyone, never once showing any sign of guilt or wrongdoing. Emma's words struck a chord with those in the room. They had been so focused on the accusation, they had failed to see the kindness and integrity Mr. Davis had shown throughout his life. Emma continued, explaining how, despite all the accusations, she believed with every fiber of her being that her father was innocent, and how she had spent days going through the school's security footage to find the truth. With a sense of urgency, the judge allowed the defense team to review the new evidence Emma had uncovered. It turned out that Emma's diligent search had uncovered a recording showing another person entering the principal's office on the day the laptop went missing, someone who had not been questioned before. It was clear that Mr. Davis was not involved at all. The room erupted in relief, and tears of joy filled Emma's eyes. Her father, who had been sitting there in despair, now stood, overwhelmed with gratitude. He embraced his daughter tightly, not just for saving him, but for showing the world that kindness, truth, and courage could change everything. The trial ended with Mr. Davis's exoneration, but the story didn't end there. The courtroom witnessed something extraordinary that day, a small act of kindness and love from a daughter who believed in the goodness of her father, and in the power of truth. Emma had shown that sometimes, the courage to stand up and speak the truth is all it takes to turn the tide. As the courtroom cleared, people gathered around Emma and her father, offering their support and admiration. It was a reminder that in a world often filled with uncertainty, it is our acts of kindness, no matter how small, that can truly make a difference. So, what can we take away from Emma's story? We can all learn from her example of courage, compassion, and kindness. Whether you're standing up for someone you believe in, helping a neighbor, or simply offering a smile to someone in need, your actions matter. The power of kindness is limitless. It has the ability to heal wounds, mend relationships, and change lives. In a world that sometimes feels divided, it's the simple acts of goodness that remind us we're all in this together. Let's make a vow today, to show kindness in all our interactions, to stand up for what's right, and to never underestimate the power of a compassionate heart. Thank you for watching this story. If it inspired you, be sure to like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe to Kindness Action for more incredible stories of love, hope, and positivity.